Hello everyone. I hope you've had a good week and you're feeling ready to come and paint something special with me today.
Do you know anyone who loves golf? Well, today we'll be painting a quick sketch of the famous Swilcan Bridge, which can be found on St Andrews Links Golf Course in Bonnie, Scotland. So if you have a golfer in your life, this might be a good painting for them. And as we go, I'll share lots of useful time and energy saving tips, so look out for the blue banners on screen. We're going to need some white, green, blue and brown paint. To save ourselves some time and energy, we're going to pre-mix our colours. So I've taken a little bit of white and added some green to it. That's a good colour for the light parts of the grass. Then I'll take some white, add some blue for the sky and for some of the reflections in the water. And I can make a darker shade of that just by adding some more blue. And that's probably good for some of the sky and in the shadows. Then I'll take some of that white, mix in some of our brown. I'm just looking at the reference photo and seeing what colours might be useful for this painting session. So we need a darker colour as well, so we'll take our brown, mix it with blue, and that will give us a very dark colour for the darkest shadows. So I'm going to dilute some raw umber to make my sketch, and I'm going to sketch on some toned paper today. And you don't have to, you can just sketch on any surface that you prefer. So I'm going to start with a little horizon line. I'm just making a rough sketch which will help me with my painting later on. And when I look at the photo, I'm sort of simplifying the shape. And to me it looks like if I took a number 5, a great big number 5, that would work out well for making shapes for this bridge. So I'll start with a number 5, and then I can go back and put in the archway for the bottom of the bridge, and then I can make a little line for where the bridge will end and where I think the back will be. I'm just making a few rough lines that will help me with the painting. We can always refine these lines later. At least we'll have something to work towards. I like painting these little sketches on paper. Paper is light and easy to hold. It's not as expensive as canvases, so I'm not too worried if I don't like the result of the painting at the end. I can just throw it away. And if I do like it, I can keep it, and I often do. I have a little box where I keep all my sketches that I'm happy with, and I can keep those for references for later on if I do turn them into a bigger painting. Now that we've finished our sketch, we can start blocking in the main colours of our painting. So I'm going to start with some blue for the sky, and I'll just quickly, using quick brush strokes, I'm not being too particular, we just want to get the sketch done nice and quickly. So I'm just applying the paint to the sky, and while I've got the blue paint on the brush, I'll add some to the water as well. And then I'll block in the green for the grass and the light brownish colour for the bridge. Now before I add the colour to the bridge, I'm just going to blend the sky and the grass. And I'm using nice gentle brush strokes here. I'm just using an old watercolor brush, but you could use any soft brush, an old makeup brush even. And blending's good because it smooths out my brush strokes, but it also removes a very little bit of paint from the surface of the paper, and that helps later on when we want to layer more paint on the top of it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of brown to my paint, to make it a little darker, and I'm going to use that to paint the back wall of the bridge, the wall that looks like it's going behind the bridge. That will help to give the illusion of distance. And then I'll take a very dark brown, the brown that we mixed with the blue, and I'll put that under the bridge and around the edges of the grass and the water's edge. So the bridge is casting a shadow on the water, so the water under the bridge will be darker. So I'm taking my darkest blue and I'm going to paint in that shadow of darker water under the bridge. Now I want to give the grass some definition, so I'm going to add some lighter parts to the top of the grass, and at the background I've made a little hill shape just to make it more interesting than a straight line. So I'm just going to add lighter green to the tops of the grass here and there. And now we can take a nice bright blue and lighten up our sky and the water. Now it's time to give our bridge a little bit of love and attention, and we need to paint the bricks. We're not going to paint every individual brick, that would take too long, and it's also not necessary. Remember, we can just simplify and include the important parts. So we just need to put a few dotted lines here and there with the brush to indicate bricks, to give the impression of bricks. And we'll do that with a light brown, and then we can go back and do some bricks with a darker brown too. So we can take a very light brown and we can go right along the top of the bridge to indicate that the sun would be lighting it up in that area. And then I realized I didn't paint the grass under the bridge, so I'm going to go back in and just put a little bit of grass in there as well. I'm going to take some of that mid-brown color and put a reflection of the riverbank in the water too, and then I can go on and strengthen the riverbank and add some definition to the hills and the grass around. We're just about finished our little painting of this bridge. I'll just add a few sprinkled flowers here and there just to finish it off. This is a lovely little bridge and it's been great to paint it. It's 700 years old, this bridge, and it was originally built for shepherds to cross over the water. Isn't it amazing that it's withstood the test of time and it's still standing today? I hope you've enjoyed this short, easy painting tutorial. If you'd like some other quick, low-energy art ideas, I've actually made a printable mini guide. There's about 5 tiny art exercises to spark your creativity anytime. Also, if you'd like some more time and energy-saving tips, I've created a printable for that. You can download it and keep it near your art area to help you on those low-energy days. The links for both of these products are in the description box below, and they're completely free. If you try any of them, let me know in the comments or tag me in your art. I'd love to see what you create. And here we go, the finished painting of the beautiful little Swilken Bridge. Why don't you paint one for a golfer in your life? Thank you so much for watching and for following along and for subscribing. If you're feeling inspired, you might want to try these tutorials too. And I'll see you in the next video.